What's up, everybody? I went ahead and wrote this one out as to at least try to leave no stone unturned. I'd like to take some time to talk about general dysfunction and further about unhealed intergenerational trauma and catch up about what's been happening on my end, at least a little bit. Disclaimer, I am a plant scientist, not a researcher of clinical psychology. This is merely a commentary of things that I have observed and what I've personally experienced. In other words, my perception and how I'm best intellectually interpreting things happening around me. I'm not trying to say that I'm right, nor that you're wrong. So let's see if we can play nice and not get our undies in a bunch about a sensitive subject, shall we? Please take what you like and leave the rest. Probably opening quite a can of worms, but here goes nothing. We have all dealt with toxic people, whether it's in a professional setting, a family setting, or an intimate relationship, whether it be platonic or romantic. There is no shortage of high conflict personalities out there in the world. I'd mostly like to address investors in this video. There are many people out there that just want to fight as if it was their sole life purpose. They are obsessed with quibbling over subjective matters and spilt milk rather than focusing on objective solutions. They are very hot and cold. I'll go so far as to say that I'd surmise that sometimes people will intentionally try to put you and/or your company in a box, in a precarious position, to join them in their misery, lots of different things. They will act like they're totally on board with whatever you're concocting or have concocted, but then when it's time to actually take the leap, they will self-sabotage. I've had my own struggles with it over the years, but then I addressed and continue to very imperfectly and sometimes even sloppily address the traumatized, turbocharged hamster wheel that lives in my head. What am I getting at? If you, as a potential investor, partner, client, whatever, silently scorn whoever you're thinking about doing business with, or if you deep down doubt their abilities, don't trust them, actually think that they're an idiot, don't trust their education, experience, accolades, etc., are jealous that they actually originally came up with the idea, can do it quicker and or more efficiently than you, are probably smarter than you, figured it out decades before you did, are jealous of how great you think their lives must be, how privileged their childhood must have been, the amount of money that they must make, or even the color of their skin. Whatever the case may be, please do yourself and or company and the other person a favor and don't waste each other's time. These behaviors are usually subconscious or even unconscious. This is based on the research that I've personally done, especially over the past couple of years in books, articles, peer-reviewed publications, and questions I've asked to certified mental health professionals that I've sought counseling from. From what I understand, these behaviors are the result of sustained trauma incurred during highly formative years of childhood, especially ages 0 to 3, which manifest as insecure attachment into adulthood unless otherwise addressed and mitigated. There are so many new technologies and tried and true modalities available to us, especially in the West. It's 2021, people. There's EMDR and transcranial magnetic therapy and CBT, DBT. Let's not forget about mushrooms either. The future is already upon us. What makes me bring this up? It's just something that there's been a lot of recently in my life since, and only because I've actually tried talking to this guy's face about it, I'm comfortable about talking about it on here too. There's potential for me to start a small farm back up and an ornamental nursery here in Southern California, as well as to be the caretaker of the property for about 6 months starting at the end of May. The person in question is retired from a long and successful career in offshore work like fishing and helping build oil pipelines throughout North America, but not agriculture. And I got gaslit last night. What I've noticed with no shortage of people, especially over the last 9 months, is that they have a proclivity to self-destruct when what has the potential to become a multi-million-dollar relationship. The gist, the gut feeling that I've gotten from many, if it's not outright jealousy, many times it's the fear of this other person somehow will come up on you, take advantage of you, or otherwise burn you, which gives off the impression that others are unworthy of their trust, and as if they already have all the answers. 9 times out of 10, they'll be the ones ending up trying to undermine you or just go all out and press the detonator button to make the operation explode, maybe even before it started. Furthermore, I'll preface this by saying that I own that this is a generalization. I'd hypothesize that this is just them trying to fit you into a box, to try to control you, to try to get a rise out of you, to try to bring you down to their level. They will die before they admit it, but they see how brilliant you really are and what you're capable of, but are intimidated and or want the credit for whatever magnum opus masterpiece you end up creating and or feel unworthy of and what can come of it. There are people out there There are people out there that absolutely despise your existence while also still secretly admiring you. Some will dedicate their time, energy, resources, money, maybe even robbery to undermine you and waste your time and try to slow your roll because they are addicted to shame and hate themselves, so they project that hatred onto you. In the heat of the moment, I'm admittedly pretty pissed at the other person for disrespecting me. Once the dust settles, I'm much more mad at their primary caretakers growing up. Once it settles further, I'm more mad at whoever raised their primary caretakers. Epigenetics aside, toddler, aka monkey see, monkey do. You know what I mean? Some things I've learned through this process over the past couple of years that help me and may or may not help you. 1, give the benefit of the doubt out of courtesy and let the other person prove if they're full of shit. Trust their word until proven otherwise. Be the last person standing. 2, if someone is disrespecting me, they're really disrespecting themselves. 3, 99.7+% of the time, your gut will be right. Number 4, if it's bad at the beginning, that's probably never going to change. Number 5, it's dehumanizing to think that anyone has a perfect life. I'm posting this for awareness and for people to not feel alone, because it's not just at family gatherings and behind closed doors that gaslighting and other highly toxic behaviors occur. I know how alone I've felt when people, companies, or institutions have tried to make me out to be the crazy one. Just like Christmas dinner and most Americans' homes, just push everything under the rug to act like there's absolutely nothing wrong and don your Duchenne smile because God forbid other people find out about how much of a shit show the reality of the situation really is. Logic and healthy boundaries are the arch nemesis of toxicity, delusions, and dysfunctional behaviors. I hope you remember that healthy boundaries are healthy for everybody. One last silver lining, your haters are giving you their power. They are drinking proverbial poison and hoping that you will die as a result of it. Sometimes they are the people closest to you. But you are worthy, and there are more people that care about you and have your best interests than you may realize out there. So I think that pretty much covers it. Thank you for sticking around until the end if you did. Cheers.